Hello, myself Dr. N Ruben, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Civil Engineering, Vignan Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, Guntur. Today, I would like to discuss one of the important subject in BTech, that is Water Resources Engineering, and particularly the two important concepts that are hydrology and we all know that water is a precious element in the world. Without water there is no life. A human can survive without water. So if you consider 3/4 of the planet is filled with water, yet some places are still facing scarcity and some places are still facing famine, and they are in some of the countries are fighting for this important water resources. Now, it is the duty of engineers to utilize this very precious water resources in optimal way. So that is the concept of this lesson. This course offers an introduction to essential concepts, theories, and design aspects of hydrology, groundwater, and irrigation engineering. The objectives of this course is to describe the components of hydrologic cycle and finding a relation between rainfall and runoff, calculations of hydrograph and its importance in design analysis, groundwater movement. And this course also imparts knowledge of various cross drainage works and their design. It also gives a student to plan a reservoir and estimate different components of hydropower. This course also discusses various types of dams, their stability design, types of spillways and their suitability. Upon the completion of the course, the student will be able to achieve the following outcomes. Like he could able to estimate how to calculate runoff, how to correlate the runoff with rainfall with the runoff, quantifies the groundwater movement by using different types of tests, estimate water requirement, and also design different irrigation channels by using theories and perform rigorous analysis of reservoir and dam construction. So, as was already told, hydrology and hydrographs are the very important and basic concepts in water resources engineering. So, the outline of these concepts include hydrologic cycle, the precipitation types, rain gauges, computation of rainfall and runoff, hydrograph and analysis, unit hydrograph, Hess hydrograph and its application. Now, what is hydrology? It is a science which deals with the occurrence, distribution, and the movement of water on the earth, atmosphere, and below the surface of the earth. We all know that water occurs in atmosphere as vapor, on surface as water, snow, and ice, and below surface as groundwater. So the total water occurrence can be illustrated by only one concept, that is hydrologic cycle. Here, what is hydrologic cycle? It is the process of transfer of moisture from atmosphere to the earth in the form of precipitation, runoff by streams and rivers to oceans and lakes, and evaporation of water back to the atmosphere. Now, this animation shows the total process of the hydrologic cycle, which includes condensation, precipitation, runoff, infiltration, evapotranspiration, etc. So each one I would like to explain. What is condensation? Condensation is the conversion of water vapor into droplets by the process called condensation. Due to increase in gravity, the water droplets form on the earth in the form of precipitation we call rainfall. Precipitations are two types, liquid precipitation, frozen precipitation. So which will be explained. So the precipitated water that falls on the ground. As we know, the ground is permeable. So the water, the portion of the precipitation infiltrates into the ground and runs as a subsurface flow. And similarly, the runoff and subsurface runoff finally meets the surface bodies like rivers and lakes, and finally these rivers and lakes finally leads to into oceans, where the evaporation once again the process will take place through the sunlight. Now, the total hydraulic cycle consists of three processes. One is precipitation, evaporation, and transpiration, and runoff. Now, the precipitation, already told, it is the fall of moisture from the atmosphere to the earth's surface in any form. That is liquid precipitation as rainfall, and frozen precipitation as snow, hail, sleet, freezing rain. Now, the another important concept in the cycle is evaporation and transpiration. The water from surface of ocean evaporates. This is called evaporation, and the water being lost from leaves is called transpiration. So, this figure shows the mechanism of evapotranspiration in detail. Now, what is runoff? It is that portion of precipitation that is not evaporated, that is not infiltrated. We call runoff. Generally, water that is on the run or in the flowing state we call runoff. So the runoff once again further divided into three types. One is surface runoff, subsurface runoff, groundwater runoff. So this what is surface runoff? That is already mentioned. So the water that first reaches the streams and rivers, which ultimately is called runoff, and a portion of precipitation the infiltrates the surface and runs as subsurface. We call stream. Groundwater or base flow. Portion of precipitation which after infiltration percolate joins water reserve. So we know till now that precipitation is the only important thing to start this hydrologic cycle. So we must know how the precipitation and how many types of precipitations are there. So according to the lifting of air masses, there are three types of precipitation. One is cyclonic precipitation, another is convective or conventional precipitation, another thing is orographic precipitation. Similarly, what is cyclonic precipitation? So this type of precipitation results from lifting of warm air masses from south due to cold air mass from polar region. So when the cold air mass meets, because of this as heavy and the warm air is light, the warm air lifts to the high and converts it into precipitation. Generally, this type of precipitation generally occurs in Atlantic and Canada and those nearby regions. So, what is convective or conventional? So, generally, this is a general type of precipitation which results from heating of Earth's surface. So, generally, because of heating of Earth's surface, yes, the warm air gets heated, and because the warm air is lighter, it goes to some altitude and becomes the precipitation. Example, this figure shows the same thing. Because of warm air, it is converting into similarly, orographic in geek terminology, it is called mountain barriers. Due to the lifting of air masses, due to mountain barriers also can cause the orographic precipitation. Generally, wherever mountains, we can see that place is always having high humidity, always getting good rainfall. Like in our India, if you see the Meghalaya, the Nilagiri mountains, wherever